You clicked this video because you were meant to see this video. Here's your friendly reminder that we are less than 40 days away from 2025, and the new year is quickly approaching, and for a lot of people, they are bombarded with holiday plans, traveling, shopping for this season, and just burnt out from the past 10 months of the everyday grind. Most people put off their goals until January 1st when that ball drops, and that's just not acceptable. Not us. We can still make things happen in this short amount of time. And I'm proof of that. Back in 2019, towards the end of that year, I started deciding that, okay, 2020 is coming. I want to name my years in order to have a point to focus on when I'm creating goals throughout that year. And besides 2020, the shutdown and everything like that, it literally worked. So in 2020, I named my year Self-Discovery, and I was at the tail end of my senior year in college, and I was about to graduate, and I didn't really know who I was, who I wanted to be, and that just really set the tone for all the years to come. In 2021, I went ahead and named that one Travel, and that was the first time I ever boarded a flight solo by myself. Went ahead and went on a trip. My sister and I, we went to Chicago, and with my newfound love in that year, me and Bae went to Colorado. So those first 2 years really set the tone. I was like, okay, I'm doing great. Let's keep this thing going. Now, fast forward to 2024, I named this year Clarity. And I just wanted to make sure all the things that I learned over the past 3 to 4 years, that I was really applying those things in order to build the life that I wanted. And I can say I've accomplished a lot. So I'm your proof that these last 30 days of the year is crucial for setting yourself up for success in that next year. In this video, I'll be sharing how you can use the last 30 days of the year to hit all your goals, to become disciplined, and to end the year off strongly. If you're new here, I'm MK, I'm your lifestyle and tech bestie, and I'm here to just create an environment for growth for myself, for you, and if this is a journey you would like to be on with me, then go ahead and consider subscribing to see more content like this. So like I said before, we are less than 40 days from the new year, 2025. So in order to really transform your everyday life and achieve the goals that you have set for yourself, we're gonna have to focus on 3 things while we're ending off this year. So these 3 main pillars is gonna help us kind of simplify what we are doing for the rest of this year in order to start off 2025 strong. So in those 3 pillars are the physical pillar, your financial pillar, and your social pillar. And we are going to go through each of those, kind of give examples, and really set off the goal and tone for the next year to come. So with each of those focus points, we're going to reflect on this current year, on what happened in that category that was good, and what's some things that we can improve on going into the next year. So before we can really dive into each of those categories, we really have to figure out systems that are going to allow us to plan out the action in order to achieve that goal. So in other words, we need to know what we need to do to get there, but how are we going to keep track of that? So with that, I am talking calendars, I am talking checklists, trackers, your Notion, your Motion, all of these things that are going to help us align each and every day in order to hit that goal. So each day we're going to try to do at least one thing to get closer to that goal before the end of the year. You need to know going into this, off the bat, like, we are going to really have to be honest with ourselves, and to know that we have forces kind of working against us. So during this time at the end of the year, there's this thing called winter depression, and it's only because we are getting less sunlight, so less exposure to the sun, our sleep schedule's all off, that time changed, and so a lot of times people are like, I'm just gonna hibernate, I'm gonna just wait and start whatever my ABC goal is in the new year, but we cannot think like that. This is crucial time that we can be planning, we can be taking actionable steps in order to achieve those goals. So, as we're starting off, before we dive into those 3 things, you want to kind of visualize your yearly theme. So, like I was saying, I named each of my years to kind of have a focal point that I can focus on while I'm creating goals and going about my everyday grind. So this year, 2024, was clarity, and I just wanted to know each and every aspect of myself and know the in and outs of who I am, and make sure that what I am aiming for is exactly what I wanted. So being clear with my words, being clear with my goals, and just being clear with my actions. So going into 2025, I'm going to name that build. So I want you to do the same thing. I want you to say what, or if you haven't named your year, name what kind of the process was, or you feel like 2024 was, and then take ownership and name 2025. And I am super excited to see what you guys name your year. So drop that down in the comments. So we have figured out the theme for the year. So coming from 2024 clarity, I've accomplished some things. So kind of taking the audit from that now. So I've gotten a promotion at work, so you're gonna make a little bit more moolah. I lost 14 pounds of body fat, and that was a really, really hard goal because I had to be consistent in the gym, be consistent with my eating. And so a lot of things went into reaching that fitness goal. And lastly, I became much better with budgeting and saving. And so I want to take some of those things that I did good on and improve on the parts that I didn't do so well on. Each category or each pillar that we go into, I want you to think of this question. What does the 2025 me need in this department? Or what does the 2025 me want in this department? Because then if you're working backwards, you can kind of see, okay, if I want to lose X amount of pounds or gain X amount of weight, I need to do what? I need to go to the gym. I need to plan my meals. So we'll be able to kind of backtrack and go from there. Taking the first pillar, let's go physical. In that physical, we are talking about everything that deals with taking care of your body. So that's your skincare routine, moving your body if that's exercise or just going for a walk or anything like that. Hydration, making sure that you're hydrated, and watching the foods that you're eating. So maybe meal prepping. What does 2025 me need in this department? So I've done pretty well with going to the gym and staying consistent. I want to keep that up. So at least 3 times a week in the gym, doing a certain split, and we can talk about that more if you're interested. And 3 times a week of preparing meals for the week, because I cannot stand cooking every day. So it's much easier if I plan out the meals and then I can have leftovers kind of set out beforehand. So that goes into setting a routine. So in this physical, let's set out that routine. So if it's for me, we're gonna say my workout routine. So I'm looking at my schedule. This is where the calendar comes into play. I have Sunday to Saturday. I need to complete 3 workouts, and I need to complete 3 meal preps. So Monday, Wednesday, Friday, I will have my exercises, and the days that I don't go exercise, I can have those meals prepped because, or I can prepare those meals so that I'll have the leftovers on the day I have to go work out. So that would kind of be the vision on setting that routine for that. So number 2. Let's get into the financial part. This is probably the biggest one because we all have things that we want to purchase. We like to go and, have the luxuries of life. So budgeting, they didn't really teach us this in school. And if they did teach you this in school, please comment your school district or your high school that lets you know how to do these things, because I know EBR pairs did not do that for me. I had to figure this out on my own. So we cannot build on dysfunction. So you got to get your pen, you got to get your paper, you got to get your bank account, you have to get your pay stubs, and we need to take a audit of how much we may or may not be spending. So this goes into what we want in 2025. So what does the 2025 me need financially? So am I looking to make a certain amount of money a year or a week? Am I trying to make any big purchases? Am I even saving enough money? So I like to try to follow the 50-30-20 rule. So it's a type of budgeting rule that I've found that's just worked the best. It's 50% of the things that, 50% of your paycheck goes to needs. So that is your bills, anything that needs to be paid in order for you not to be stressed out. So that's your loans, that are, subscriptions and, rent, lights, things like that. 30% goes to you. So I like to take those things out in cash because I get in trouble when I swipe my card. So I take my 30% in cash, and I know that when I'm out of cash, I cannot swipe that card unless it's an emergency. And 20% is for savings. So making sure that you just have something that's auto-saved automatically from a paycheck is so mindless. So like automating budgeting or automating saving helps out so much. Like it starts growing, you're like, oh, I didn't know I even saved that much. Yes, it is proven, it works. I ended up saving like over $1,000 in less than 2 months. So that was a really, really big win for this year. So 2025 me really wants to, make some big purchases, aka go on some more trips. So I have to make sure that I'm sticking to my savings and my budgets. A way that we can continue to stay on top of things like that is journaling daily, weekly, or monthly, whatever floats your boat. Personally, I like to do this bi-weekly. So every 2 weeks, I like to take everything that I know what's going to be in that paycheck, like bills, and I break down how much is going to be saved and how much I'm going to have left over. Now, typically, I go ahead and I take the left part after I pay myself and put that into savings as well, which has helped me save more money quicker. So one thing that I use is my very own journal. And this is my year journal, and it's the 12-month game plan in order to achieve your goals and stay on top of things. And in this journal, you have your payment tracker, weekly planners. You even have a sheet where you have those monthly pillars. So you have like your physical, your financial, and your social pillars, along with a couple others. And you keep the focal point of like this year, you're naming this year, any important dates. I really do like the reflection. So I basically took everything that I liked from other journals that I used to use in the past and created it all into one. So for everyone who purchased one in the next week and leaves a review, I'll be putting your name in a drawing in order to win another journal. Now, this can be saved for your next 12 months in order to keep this going, or you can give it to a friend who also needs this type of organization in their life. So I'll leave that link in the description. We have to make sure we are on top of things. And so having your physical goal, having your financial goal, just knowing where you are financially and where you want to be, it's really going to set the tone for that next year. Okay, so last but not least is going to be that social pillar. Now, these are the interactions or the relationships that you would like to foster during this time, or that you may not have been doing the best job with all throughout the year. So we have to remember that we have to surround ourselves with positive people. And so take into account this going into the holidays, this is a perfect time to reconnect with old friends or family or people you just, lose touch with when you are going through the everyday grind of life. So what does the 2025 me want in the social department? This can be, spending time with your parents or a sibling, or even a friend that you just lost touch with. So I know that since I've kind of been on this journey of like hitting my goals and getting promotions, I feel like I haven't been as proactive of reaching out. And I know that the phone is a two-way street. So yes, they can be reaching out to you, but you can be reaching out to them too. Because sometimes you just need that text like, hey, haven't talked to you in a while, but really want to catch up. It could be a FaceTime call. It doesn't always have to be in person. FaceTime, phone call, a text. anything to just know that you are still remembering your friendship and your bond is just what truly matters. So with going into the social thing, you have examples like, spending time with your parents, siblings, phoning a friend, planning a date night or a getaway with bae. And I just want to be better in this because yes, I have clients and I make sure that, celebrating birthdays, but what about the people that you kind of grew up with and still have a positive impact on you? So that comes into the surrounding yourself with positive people. So you want to kind of do a audit of your social aspect. So you don't want to bring the negative Nancy's into 2025. So anyone that's giving you any headache or problems, go ahead and drop them and go into 2025 having a new space for more positive people. So if you need to clear out the old contacts for people that you only said Merry Christmas to all year, or if you need to unfollow people that just aren't healthy for either your current relationship or just your mental, go ahead and unfollow them. So we shouldn't be following people that, would end up messing up any current relationships that you have, or, making you fall into habits where you're not doing what you need to be doing. So, unfollow these people, unfollow those sites. Like if you know that you have a spending habit with Domino's, go ahead and delete the app. I'm saying this from personal experience. Yes. So there you have it. Those are the 3 pillars. We're asking, just for a recap, we're asking ourselves, what do we want in those departments, okay? And we want to create a checklist, a system that's going to allow us to take actionable steps each and every day to get there. And just ask yourself, what went right in 2024 and what can I improve on going into 2025? So if you want to end 2024 strong, I want you to claim it and let me know in the comments. Let me know what you're naming 2025, and I can't wait to see you in the next video.